The Achieve the Core coherence maps are one source that can be used to backward map the standards. For this example, while the domain of numbers and operations in base 10 also contributes to proficiency in this domain, we're going to stay within the domain of operations in algebraic thinking. I will begin by assessing target skills one at a time, sampling or surveying back through incrementally easier levels of the task to pinpoint key breakdowns and determine with increased certainty what to teach and how to enable learning. Throughout this process, I want to determine whether Eli can respond independently, whether his responding is accurate, and if so, fluent, and whether incentives and/or instructional supports and scaffolding allow Eli to perform the skills in a more proficient way. I will carry this out using readily available tools directly aligned with the North Carolina Standard Course of Study and are efficient to use. My next step is to directly assess the standards by back mapping or surveying the skills preceding the second grade standards in the domain of operations in algebraic thinking. I used the coherence maps to help me identify these standards. Because they directly align with the curriculum and are readily available, I decided to use the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Math Formative Assessments and Formative Instructional and Assessment Tasks. I thought about beginning with tasks at the kindergarten level, but wanted to learn more about how Eli approached tasks and his use of strategies. So I decided to start with some of the tasks for the first grade mid-year assessment. I selected both Task 4 and Task 5 to sample. I particularly wanted to use Task 5, which involved an addition problem type of add to, change unknown, because I knew from the number knowledge test that Eli had an emerging understanding of addition, and I wanted to explore the boundaries of this understanding further. Pause the video and find handouts 1 and 2. Review the first grade performance rubric for tasks 4 and 5, Eli's responses, and the notes that were recorded on the protocol. After you've reviewed this information, go to your reflection journal and respond to the following. What do you conclude about Eli's understanding of and use of strategies for this task? What else do you think we need to find out about Eli's math performance? What would be your next step? Pause the video here while you respond in your reflection journal. When you're finished, return to the video and continue. Next, I utilized the formative, instructional, and assessment tasks for kindergarten and selected tasks that assessed standards 1 and standards 2 in the operations and algebraic thinking domain. These involve being able to represent addition and subtraction with objects, fingers, drawings, etc., solving addition and subtraction word problems, and adding and subtracting within 10 using objects or drawings. I selected tasks that represented a range of problem types. Find handouts 3 through 6. Review Eli's performance on these kindergarten formative instructional tasks. Then, go to your reflection journal and summarize your findings. Pause the video here, and when you're completed with the reflection journal, return and continue. Finally, I wanted to investigate if Eli was able to decompose numbers into pairs, which is Operations in Algebraic Thinking Standard 3. I selected a formative assessment task to assess this. Pause the video and find handout 7. Once you've found it, continue. Review handout 7. What do you conclude about Eli's understanding of decomposing numbers to form number pairs? Summarize your findings in your reflection journal. Pause the video here, and when you're completed, return to the video and continue. Now that I have surveyed Eli's skills across the domain of operations in algebraic thinking, I know what skills Eli has mastered, how he approaches problems, and have an understanding of the learning progression to follow as I design and deliver specially designed instruction. I can now answer the questions: where does Eli need to go? And where is Eli now? And finally, I can answer, what is the learning progression to get there? This graphic shows the progression of skills from kindergarten through 2nd grade in the domain of operations in algebraic thinking. As indicated, Eli is able to represent addition and subtraction with objects, fingers, mental images, and drawings, and he can solve addition and subtraction word problems within 10 using objects or drawings. From there, I have a clear path or progression to follow to move Eli from where he is now to where he needs to be at the 2nd grade level.